We are live right now on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Thank you for joining us. Carl Coulage for the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. On this Inauguration Wednesday, special shout out to President Joe Biden, number 46. And also special shout out to Kamala Harris, Vice President, the first Black female Vice President. I was watching everything all day, so I definitely got to throw a shout out to that. Amazing ceremony. Kudos to all those who set it up. I don't know if you fellas were watching it, but it was a great ceremony to see. Commissioner, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How's everybody doing today?
We hanging in there. Another special shout out, Mr. Box Office. This week was his birthday, so happy birthday to Travis McKay, our football expert. We like to call. Some people don't believe he's an expert, but I appreciate him and I thank him for all his football knowledge.
And since when do we care about what they think? I appreciate it, fellas.
And Mr. Ricardo Etienne, Rockland County's favorite son, is in the building. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. If you would allow me to get a couple words off real quick,
sure
if I may,
brother.
Just to kind of piggyback off what you said, today's a beautiful day, man. And this ain't necessarily to be political or anything. I just look at it from a hope standpoint and a change standpoint. 4 years ago, we had an inauguration that ended a term. And one of the things that I reflected on at that time was the fact that my son was 7 years old, going on 8, and he had only known a Black president, a president that looks like him, that's Black and has Muslim ancestry, or, Muslim ties through religion just like him, So that type of representation meant a lot to me. Fast forward 4 years later, my daughter turns 5 next week. And the fact that she now gets to see a vice president who looks just like her, of Caribbean and Indian descent, just like her. So I just want to say shout out to representation. Today's an awesome day, and try not to get choked up just because where we are at in this world, I think is very important for us to have representation, and to have it makes my job as a parent, as a Black parent, a lot easier going forward. Now that I know without a doubt, I can absolutely look at both of my kids, tell them they can do whatever it is they want to do in this world, even if it's become president or vice president of these great United States of America. So that's it.
Listen, man, it's all good to get choked up because I was watching the thing and I was crying the whole time, man. I don't know why. It's just like tears just kept flowing down my eyes. I think it was an incredible moment. So, and I couldn't have said it any better than myself. Thank you for that, Rick. With that said, we got a lot to discuss here. I'm not going to waste any time. I see someone in the comments saying Watson to the Jets. I don't know if that's officially confirmed. You guys can check your sources and let me know.
Everybody trying to break news on us.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
We set a standard.
But what I want to talk about, clearly we watched the games Sunday. Tom Brady advances to the NFC Championship game, defeating Drew Brees and the Saints by a score of 30-20. The Chiefs also winning, 22-17. The Browns had it, but I think the topic of discussion we were just talking about earlier before the show started was the legacy of Drew Brees, and I've looked up his accolades: Super Bowl champion, Walter Payton Award, passing yards records, passing completion. You could go down there and you can Google his accomplishments, but I find that in the hit list streets, there seems to be a lot of negativity towards Drew Brees. And I don't seem to understand why. He's a great player. He has the numbers. He has the individual accolades. He has the team accolades. So why must we feel to throw shade or negativity towards Drew Brees? And what's really his legacy? Travis, what are your thoughts there?
I mean, I think you came to the wrong person first. I think we need to start with the head of the Drew Brees hating fan club and Ray. But since you came to me, man, Drew Brees' legacy, man. Granted, it didn't end well this year. We still don't know. I don't think he's officially retired yet, right? It's still speculation, but we're all going with the assumption that he will. But the man is probably one. I'm going to put him as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game, man. Yes. For some of y'all don't hold. I will still go down in history saying he should have won an MVP against Patrick Mahomes a few years ago. But, to see what he was able to do to come out and now after tearing up the shoulder where some people thought he would never be the same again, to come back New Orleans, he put the city of New Orleans on his back in a time where they needed, something to believe in. He broke tons of NFL records. I mean, to sit there and break your own record multiple years, I don't care what y'all say about the completion percentage record. I find that to be a high record right there. That shows your accuracy and your ability to get the ball into your playmakers' hands. I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. He still has his one Super Bowl, which is more than we can say for some of the QBs that we consider to be the best. I mean, Phillip Rivers retired today, and a lot of people automatically throw him into the Hall of Fame. I have questions about that. But back to Drew Brees, like I said, one of the greatest to ever play the game.
All right. Ray, I know Sunday may have been the last time we see Drew Brees, and you've been at the center of the controversy when it comes to him. What are your thoughts about his legacy and where he ranks all time?
I mean, once again, I have no real issue with Drew Brees. But here's the issue like we had from like the summertime. Drew Brees, to me, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. If you want to put him top 10 all time, I'm cool with that, you know? But he's not like a Mount Rushmore QB. I talk about a lot of things with Mount Rushmore, winning, accolades, and then talent as well. Like he has all this, he has a lot of records, but he hasn't done anything really significant with those records. He's just has a lot of records. After he won the Super Bowl, he hasn't done anything. People were telling me, oh, when he was getting 5,000 yards a season, oh my God, the defense is trash. You get him a good defense and watch what he does. They got a defense. They got a run game. And what's changed?
But it wasn't the same Drew Brees at that point.
Age.
It wasn't right. It wasn't the same Drew Brees at that point. We all saw it this Sunday. He could not get the ball down the field. We all saw that this Sunday.
Wait a second. 2 years, for 2 years, without Drew Brees, I think they played 9 games. That team went 8-1. So if he's
okay, they're a good. It's a good team.
We're not talking about prime Drew Brees. We're talking about 43-year-old Drew Brees.
It doesn't matter if
it absolutely matters.
It does matter.
The last 4 years, the Saints have won a total of 50 games. That's team. If you're that good, you can at least get to the Super Bowl at least one time in those 4 years.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, they put themselves.
A lot of teams
they put themselves in the position to get to the Super Bowl, and then they blew the call on the pass interference.
Okay,
that was sending them bowling.
No. That pass interference, guess what? It still tied the game. They went into overtime, and Drew Brees threw an interception. People always forget that part.
They were winning that game, and everybody and their mother knows it. It's not even a question.
Okay, so we know where Ray stands. Okay, Ray's not taking anything away from his legacy. He's just saying he's not knocking on no Mount Rushmore. Okay, Declan, what are your thoughts, real quick, on?
I agree with him. Oh, sorry, Carl.
No,
I agree
it's
with
okay.
him. I agree with him completely. He's not on my Mount Rushmore either. I don't think he should be on anybody's. I mean, yeah, obviously he played in the dome. He had the system. They should have done more.
Stop with this dome. Like, I don't understand what is the critique against the dome.
I don't understand that argument either.
All right,
can I get into it for a sec? Is that cool?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to sound like such a dick when I said that, but I'm being serious.
It's fine.
It was an accident.
It's okay, bro. Go ahead.
Here's my thing, right? So, Northeast quarterbacks. We look at Tom Brady, Eli Manning, Big Ben, or you forget Northeast, cold weather. Eli Manning is Brett Favre too, is what I think of. Those are guys that are on these streaks, like Manning, Brady. Everyone I mentioned has some sort of streak of durability. Like, these guys don't get hurt in the cold weather cities, and that is such a disadvantage to be playing in cities like that, where you have Drew Brees who gets hurt in a controlled environment with the weather and the dome. I'm not a big believer in all the dome means everything, but if you're telling me like Aaron Rodgers has got to go do it in Lambeau, Brady's got to do it in New England, Roethlisberger's got to do it in Pittsburgh, Eli's got to do it in MetLife in the wind tunnel, and then Drew Brees got to go into a dome with a head coach in a system that works when he's not there. That's how I see it in terms of if we're going to talk about does he belong on Mount Rushmore. So in that regard, I think that the dome and I think that the weather does play an impact when we really, really take it to the next level. I mean, they haven't won since 2009. That's a team that they've put on some world beaters on the field, and they still haven't won in 12 years. So I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, so Rick, what are your thoughts?
That makes zero sense. What is the correlation between injuries and playing outside and playing in the
You want to know what the correlation?
There's no connection there.
Absolutely a correlation, 100%. It is so much easier to be Phillip Rivers and going to San Diego and stay healthy. And it is.
Okay, so that means do you take a little bit away from Dan Marino? Dan Marino played in Miami. He didn't play he played in warmer weather.
He didn't win in that case. So, I mean, if you want to say in terms of whether, dude, I'm saying we take it away when we break it down like in specifics. But you can't tell me.
I think that's nitpicking in my. I don't know if it's nitpicking. I mean, again, I'm not the football guy here, but is that nitpicking when we're looking at weather and saying, well, this player didn't play in this weather because of like.
Yeah, I think when we talk about Mount Rushmore, a lot of it is nitpicking because you got to nitpick at certain points to see who really, really, really is the greatest. And that's like it is harder to play in a cold weather. It just can't be underestimated.
Okay,
I think the biggest.
Rick, go ahead, sir.
I think the biggest thing with Drew Brees, he kind of gets he gets a little bit of a bad head dealt to him just because you're in an era where Brady is the measuring stick. So going back to some of the things we've said as far as, all the different array of talent that he's had a good defense, at times, has had the benefit of being in that controlled weather environment. And think about it, not even just for all of his home games, but 2 games a year in Atlanta, 2 games a year in Tampa, you know what I mean? So the weather and the dome thing, it does kind of add to that. So you put all of that stuff together and then you put it towards the measuring stick that is Tom Brady, who so far has been, beating Father Time each time he come knocking on his door. That's where we start saying, well, how come Drew Brees ain't able to do this? Because he's been given a lot more advantages than Tom Brady has necessarily. So I think that's where he suffers more than anything. But again, we go back to the conversations we were having over the weekend. As far as I'm concerned, Drew Brees has done enough to maintain his place, where he's ranked for the generation, for the pack of quarterbacks that we're talking about currently. He's right around that 4 slot. He's going to be behind Brady. He's going to be behind Peyton. He's going to be behind Rodgers, And I don't think another Super Bowl, a trip to the Super Bowl or a victory in the Super Bowl would have had him jump any one of those guys. And losing the way he did over the weekend, I don't think it drops him below any of those guys.
But you know what? I mean? But to kind of wrap up the conversation, according to Ray, he's saying Rodgers is on the clock. So that means you kind of got to have him and Rodgers neck and neck, no? Because
I think way better than him already, but he's still on the clock. But
you can't say that though, because when you talk about records, Drew Brees has the records, Rodgers doesn't, and they have the same equally amount of Super Bowl appearances as of right now. So how could Rodgers be ahead of him?
Because Rodgers also has he's about to get 3 MVPs. He has a Super Bowl MVP already. And if your eye test, if you have a functional brain,
I think it comes down to that eye test.
The thing about Aaron Rodgers is before Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers was considered one of the greatest passers of the football, just simply by the eye test.
He's still
some of the things he could do, no other quarterbacks have really done. We've seen done before Patrick Mahomes came along. So yes, he beats out Drew Brees in that aspect. But to sit there and to hold that against Drew Brees, I would take Drew Brees passing ahead of a lot of the other greats that we have. You know what I mean?
Like who?
I might take him above Tom Brady. If it was simply a passing situation, I might take him above Tom Brady.
Anybody else taking that bet?
No.
If it was simply passing, I mean, we're giving all things equal.
I don't care if you complete, if you watch the Saints offense, he's dinking and dunking half the damn time.
That's only recently though. Exactly.
That's the last couple of years.
When he first got to New Orleans, those first couple, they were bombs all over the place.
I think Drew Brees,
at the end of the day, I just feel again, outside looking in and listening to everybody talk, in the words of Ray Jarvis, our MVP, Drew Brees should get his flowers. I don't see why we should have any knock on his career. Again, if you're going down the list of individual accolades and team accolades, he checks off the marks. So what else do we want? I mean, yes, he wasn't fortunate enough to make it.
Everybody can't win it.
But then when you talk about Super Bowls, it's a team accomplishment. Is it really that much? You have to look at your coaching. You have to look at
his
offense. You have to look at everything when you're talking about, why didn't he make it to the Super Bowl? But as far as individual accolades, Drew Brees checks everything off for those individual accolades. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think, like Ray said, man, he's top 10 without even looking at it and dissecting it. He's top 10, no doubt. Don't think he's top 5 for the generation. He's definitely going to be slotted right in that four slot where I kind of us that he's been in, he would live regardless. So I don't think we're necessarily disrespecting him. I think we're just kind of giving the
We're
examples
breaking down
of
his legacy.
why he's
Ray
not
disrespects him.
you know?
Ray
No,
disrespects
That's what I was trying to get to. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
him.
Yeah, but moving along, let me ask you guys this: when Patrick Mahomes went down on Sunday, did everyone's heart drop? Like, oh, there goes the season. Did anyone believe right then and there that they're done? Browns are going to the AFC Championship game, or did you still have some slight of hope?
No, I thought they could finish out that game. I thought they'd be able to finish out that game.
From a football and a personal standpoint, when I saw it, my heart dropped because, like, I mean, I saw the guy, I've had concussions, whatever. Like, it sucks. It's a scary feeling. When you saw him, like, even like you heard Romo in the booth, like when you saw him go down, you're like, okay, oh, he's on the ground. This might be sus. Hopefully, he got the wind knocked out of him. And then he stands up and he kind of, falls back. Like, that was just so scary to me. Like, I hate it. Maybe it's because I'm young. I just hated to see that. I was like, oh God. Like, it was just a sight that you never want to see. And hopefully he plays next week.
And that's exactly the case. I think, when I saw it, it was just a matter of, I hope he's okay. You could say, well, Cleveland has a shot now. But again, I still feel like where they were at in that game, there's far too much talent on that Kansas City roster. Obviously, pulling a guy like Mahomes out, I mean, it's not like you're putting a bum back in there. You know what I mean? It's Chad, blame it on the Henny, man. The dude can play. So I didn't think they were necessarily going to lose. It gave Cleveland a glimmer of hope. But I think the more important thing was being worried about his health going forward beyond that game.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to lose because when they were driving, they were in scoring position. They still made the field goal. So it was 22-10, and it was like the middle of the the third quarter. And if you watch how the Browns offense was playing, it wasn't like anything's like no quick strikes. It was long drive. And so, and like Rick said, Chad Henne has been a starter in this league. He's not
he started 55 games.
Yeah, so he has played, and plus him playing in week 17 definitely helped. So it wasn't like he hasn't played all season, and he just needed to throw the game, basically.
Travis, was it a missed opportunity on the Browns' part not to capitalize off of Mahomes going out and win this game?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily consider that because I think I can't remember who mentioned that Kansas City is just far too talented. I mean, I would say they missed the opportunity when they lost that fumble on the reach on the goal line right there. That was their missed opportunity right there. I mean, granted, I think it's a stupid rule, but to miss out on that one right there. But they did make a game out of it though when Patrick Mahomes went out. So I'll give him credits for that because Henny gave a 8 INT away, which was a disgusting looking pass. But I don't think because Kansas City is just they were far too talented to still lose at that point in the game to the Browns. Like the Browns just didn't have enough.
Listen, I know how you guys like to do it. It's Wednesday. The games are Sunday, so it's too early to make predictions on the games on Sunday.
We don't even know if Patrick Mahomes is playing. Like,
both games are Sunday. We got pregame.
We got pregame.
It's not too early to make a prediction, but it's too early to
but just looking at the matchups, is there some level of excitement to see Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady?
Absolutely.
And then on the other hand, you have the Bills. The Bills versus the Chiefs. So let's just, I guess, I don't want to make predictions, but what's the level of excitement going into Championship Sunday, Declan?
Where do I start, Carl? I don't even know. I'm so excited. Is there a level of excitement?
I could tell.
We have exceeded any levels of excitement, and I think that started super wild card weekend. I mean, there's a ton of fun narratives. Brady versus Rodgers is going to be awesome. That's the early game. I'm glad that they made the Chiefs-Bills the later game because I feel like that is a prime time, high-powered offensive team matchup that'll probably work really well for the ratings being in the later game. I think it's going to be great. I don't know how anyone's going to stop the Chiefs. The Bills' defense did stop the Ravens and held them to 3 points. And in the other game, we even see like the Bucs can really go into Lambeau and beat the Packers. I don't think they will. I've had Bills Packers kind of clocked for a long time. But yeah, I think the narratives that we're going to see, 2 young quarterbacks who are going to be the face of the league probably for the next 10, 15, hopefully years. And then 2 guys who have been the face of the league or who in my opinion, are 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. So I think it's just going to be great narratives.
Rick, more exciting matchup. The old or the newer quarterbacks?
I mean, it's easy. The NFC is the far more exciting matchup. I mean, this is something the NFL has been wet dreaming about for, God
Did you
knows
even
how
say
long.
that?
You know, I mean,
Did you even say that? Oh my!
that's, let's
He's not lying.
let's keep it real.
Like,
Think about it.
I see no lies.
Think about it. Let's
I love
go back to the summer, all the uncertainties, all the inconsistencies with COVID, trying to get the league back up and going. If you told the NFL at that point, hey, look, not only are you going to get Rodgers and Brady in the NFC title game, but the week before we're going to give you Brady and Breeze, they've been like, yes, sign me up. Like, let's do it. However we got to get it done, let's get it done, So to navigate through the type of season that we have, with all the COVID stuff, everything else going on, to get here pretty much on schedule. And, oh, by the way, you finally get Rodgers versus Brady in a game that matters. I mean, it may as well be the Super Bowl. Is that level of intensity for the right to go to the Super Bowl. Who knows how many times you have the opportunity to get this matchup again? Maybe 1-2 more times max. So for the NFL to be able to have it in Brady's first season over on the NFC, there's no doubt that is the absolute most exciting matchup. I mean, they can't wait. They just can't wait for something.
Ray, do you agree with what Rick just said? Is that the more entertaining matchup, Rodgers versus Brady, going into the championship Sunday?
Oh yeah, definitely is. For the longest, I've been wanting a Brady and Rodgers Super Bowl. A couple years ago, I tried to predict Brady and Rodgers in the Super Bowl. So we won't get that, but a conference championship game is just the next best thing. Definitely, this game is hard because just like the Bucks when they got blown out by the Saints and they came back and won, I'm thinking the same thing might happen to the Bucks with them blowing out the Packers in Week 6. But I haven't made a decision yet on who I'm going to pick. But this game, I'm looking forward to it. In fact, I'm going to be in Tampa and I'm driving back home just to make sure I watch this game. That's how excited I am.
You in Tampa this weekend?
Going to see my godson, so I'm going to go to Tampa on the weekend, but I got to drive back on Sunday.
Bro, I'm out there on Saturday, man. Let's link up.
Where's Travis? Travis, are you here? Travis, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so could you make a case that let's go that Patrick Mahomes does play? There's no official ruling that he is playing, but they said he had a light practice. But that's what I read last. But could you make the argument that the Bills Chiefs is more entertaining than the other one, or no?
I mean, there's an argument. The problem with it is that they're both young quarterbacks. They're both in the AFC. So chances are we're going to see this matchup for years to come. You know what I mean? It is an exciting matchup because you have two high-powered offenses. You got Stephon Diggs and you got Tyreek Hill on the other side. Two explosive wide receivers. And then you got some good cornerback matches as far as White against probably Tyreek Hill. We'll see what happens there. But like the rest of the panel said, man, the main event is going to be Brady versus Rodgers. It's who's the real number 12 here. This is the NFL has been waiting for this matchup for so long. Like when Brady moves to the NFC, now you have this opportunity to put the two of them together in a game, like you said, in a game that matters. So you're going to have either way. As long as Mahomes makes it to the Super Bowl, the NFL is going to win no matter what with the next two games. Because whether it's Brady versus Mahomes or whether it's Rodgers versus Mahomes.
Tell him, Carl. Let's get at him.
Still going to win.
Here's my issue, though, and again, I'm looking at all assets here. If the Brady and Rodgers is the main event, why is that not the primetime game? Primetime is 6:40.
Because it's already predetermined. It's predetermined.
You could flex it, no? Could you not just change it?
No, that
alternates every year.
That has to deal with the TV contract.
Yeah, I get that.
And not for nothing.
What it is, it's just NFC and AFC switch every year.
Right.
Like
next year, NFC will be the later game, and then next year the AFC will be the early game. So
it's equivalent
and
to
not for nothing.
home team Super Bowl jerseys.
Essentially. I honestly feel like you mentioned that. Honestly, like when you look at the specific time slots, that afternoon game is the more prime slot on a Sunday, in my opinion, anyway. I think that will absolutely have more eyes on it, regardless of the time slot.
Okay, guys, before I let you go, anyone want to make an early prediction, or are we just going to wait till Sunday?
No, if we make it now, what reason do they have to tune in on?
They ain't gonna tune in, you know.
No, because your opinion could change between now and Sunday. I'm just preliminarily saying it. I already know where Declan stands. Declan, I know he's going. He's got Bills and Packers in Super Bowl.
You have no
You
idea.
said that last week, so I'm not. You said that on Sunday, so I'm not.
I said that last August. I don't know where I'm going with in terms of my picks now, but we'll see. The one thing I'll say though about the two games, quickly, is that I think that the 6 o'clock game between the Chiefs and the Bills might turn out to be a better football game. But the game before that, the Brady Rodgers game, Bucs Packers, that's just a better narrative. That's a better watch, if that makes sense. I don't know if that does.
I think one thing I'll add on to that too, and obviously I'm gonna save it for Sunday, but we did talk about obviously the matchup we get in the NFC is a matchup that the NFL has been dying for forever. But again, to expand upon that too, I think by midway through the season, maybe at the beginning of the season, you wouldn't have said, hey, they wouldn't have been clamoring for the Bills like that. But by midway through the season, based on what Josh Allen was able to do up there with the addition of Stephon Diggs to get that offense cooking the way they were, you figure this is the four that the NFL would love to have. This is more or less a perfect Final Four based on what we've seen throughout the season. So this is one of the times where we could honestly, truly say we are going to get the best team in football come out of these four.
Let's not forget.
I agree with that.
Let's not forget, though, for some of us, because there's a lot of people in the hit list that didn't believe that the Bills deserved to be where they're at. They didn't think that the Bills were where they're supposed to be at, because I remember distinctly. I remember Travis was one of them. Ray was one of them.
That's what I'm saying, because that's in the beginning. That's in the beginning.
But Travis wasn't that bad, though. After they beat
I'm
the
pretty sure
Steelers, he
I
hopped
was on
on.
the fence about the Bills. You
figure by week 8, week 9, week 10, there was no denying it. There was no denying it.
It took until like week 13. Once they played the Steelers.
Yeah, once they played the Steelers, we kind of had a tense belief. But I'm excited for these games. I can't wait to see who comes out of them. We'll have our regular pregame on Sunday at 12:15 for those who want to tune in to get our.
11:15, 2 hours.
Say it again.
2 hours on Sunday.
2 hours.
No, we said that for Super Bowl.
2 hours.
I'm like, slow down. Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours. That's a long ass pregame. I don't know. But you guys take care. Let me give a shout out to my baseball team that's gonna be coming in. We're gonna be talking about the Mets. I guess the Jets are still on that Deshaun Watson trade talk. I know there are rumblings about them trying to acquire him, but you guys
talk about in the offseason.
Yeah, for sure. You guys make sure. Thank you for tuning in. You guys level up, and I'll talk to you. So I'll talk to you on Sunday.
All right.
Yep.
You're watching the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Declan's going to stick around to talk some baseball as I bring in Eddie, my other contributor for baseball. The Sports Hit List live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Please make sure you tune in and watch all the other content and programming that's live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Yeah, I wanted to talk about, it was breaking news on Monday that the New York Mets general manager, Jared Porter, acknowledges sending explicit images to female reporter while he worked for the Chicago Cubs. And he instantly got fired. The Mets weren't tolerating any of those kind of activities. Declan, what were your first thoughts when you saw that news?
Unfortunate. I guess from a moral standpoint, that somebody in newly appointed in such a position of power would kind of send something so lewd, uncalled for is kind of an understatement. I guess we hope he lands on his feet and that he's remorseful of his actions. More importantly, I guess from a baseball standpoint, the Mets are going to have some decisions to make if they even want to hire a general manager, if they just want to let Sandy Alderson handle anything. That might honestly be a better option. I'm not sure who's on the market right now. That would kind of, make a transition of power per se, since we're talking about it. Well, it is inauguration day, so we'll throw that in there.
Pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. All intended. A smooth transition there if they go down that route. But in terms of an ethical and a human, or just looking at it like how it is, it's horrible. It really is. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah. I was seeing some comments that the Mets can't catch I don't know if it was in our group chat for baseball, that the Mets can't catch a break between dealing with what happened with Carlos Beltran and then now this. As a franchise, how do you even, stem to move on to get to the next level?
Well, I mean, it was 77 days they had Carlos Beltran in I guess Met pinstripes, or if you even threw them on, besides the press conference, and then it was I think 77 days they had Jared Porter hired.
Oh, there you
So
go.
how
Sorry
you
about
moving? What's up, Eddie?
What's going
How
on,
you
brother?
move-
How you doing?
What's
how
up?
you
What's
move
up,
on
Eddie?
from a franchise standpoint, you just got to hire right people, hire good people, bring them in to do a great job, and to make your franchise, your fans, and your organization proud.
We
Jared
have Chuck
Porter
is in,
felt he did.
or Chuck is in the building. Chuck, we were just talking
Oh!
about Jared Porter, and what were your thoughts when the news broke out?
Honestly, it's just sad. I just don't have any other way to really put it. It's just like, what are you doing with yourself? You have a career in which, most of us would dream about having, and you're really that desperate enough that you go after this poor reporter and you just, text her nonstop and like send pictures of your junk and everything. And listen, I understand we as men like to, idolize women and whatnot, but it comes to a certain extent. And there are lines drawn, and you don't cross those lines. And it's really like disgusting, and that's why people say that men are pigs, because they do stuff like this. It's seriously gross. And having a daughter of my own, I just can't imagine somebody doing that to her. Like, it bothers me. Like, that woman deserves as much as respect as you would give to somebody else. And just sitting there, just 62 texts, like, it's like annoying. And in a day of social media, we always see how guys creep on these women and whatnot, and it's just aggravating. And like, when does it come to an end is my questioning. And I feel bad for the lady, because she even said that she was scared to come out because back in her home country, what they do is they basically pin it on the woman and make her the bad guy in the situation, when it's not even really her fault at all. So I mean, in a way, I'm just at like a loss of words. It's just a sad situation, and it's just got to stop.
Eddie, what are your thoughts on what's going on with Jared Porter and the Mets?
I think that specific situation is very sad. I feel that that's something that seems to be very common now with men in power. I feel like more and more is coming out of men who have position of power that are trying to use their power to entice women or intimidate women reporters or women coaches or women whatnot. I think, was it last month, when who's the coach from San Antonio? Becky Hammond.
Becky Hammond, yeah.
Becky Hammond. One of the players said, how is she going to be a coach? You don't want a coach that you want to bang or something like that. Like, it sounds like that's I guess what you want to call a locker room talk or whatnot. But it seems to be more and more common when you have women who are becoming they are becoming in the forefront of becoming great reporters and general managers and potentially coaches and things like that they might be taking men's jobs. So I think it has to do with people abusing their power, obviously. And it's disturbing because the guy it seemed like he was doing a good job, because the Mets off season was pretty good, but who cares about that? What he did was wrong.
Yeah, and I think it's just what what Chuck said is, when is it going to stop? Like, it's one thing if it's a mutual understanding and both parties are agreeing to the messages, but once she said no and she didn't reply, why do you consistently continue pushing on it? Like, to me, that didn't make any sense. Like, why consistently harass her?
It's
if
criminal.
she said like if she said no means no, bro. Like there's no reason for you to keep pushing yourself on her. So I think it's part of our culture, and giving the shift in women becoming more vocal, I believe she shouldn't be afraid to come out and express, listen, this is what he did to me. Let's get this guy out of here. Let's get him fired. And I think the Mets took proper actions immediately they found out he lost his job. And I think that was the best course of action they can take. While I have you guys here, it seems that the baseball group has been, chatty patty as of late with all the trades going on and the acquisitions. Eddie, people in the Hitler streets are questioning your loyalty because you're wearing a Mets shirt, but you're a Yankee fan. I don't know if that's allowed.
No. I'm gonna be honest. I get donations from the hospital. I'm not gonna hate on the Mets. I don't hate on the Mets. I'm a Yankee fan. I know I'm a Yankee fan. Like, I got Babe Ruth in the back. I'm a Yankee fan. but I figured this is a Mets segment, so why not, support New York?
All right. Well, I think you're gonna have to answer that to
I
Manny
think
later on.
I think that's cool.
Manny has some issues, but so far during the winter, what has been the biggest acquisitions? I know the Mets had the big acquisitions. Would you say that's been the biggest acquisition so far this offseason for baseball, Chuck?
Now I'm gonna say no, but it's not because I'm a Yankee fan and whatnot. I think what the Padres are doing has been nuts, to say the least. They're doing, and I put this in the hit list group a couple of weeks ago. They're doing with Tatis what the Angels should have did with Trout. They build the offense. They went out, they got Eric Hosmer. They went out, they got Manny Machado. They had Will Myers locked up. Last year they were in the playoff hunt. They went out, they started trading. They had a great farm system. They used that to fix up the bullpen to secure other areas of need. Now they're going out and they're fixing their rotation. They bring in Blake Snell, Yu Darvish. Yesterday or the day before, they trade for Joe Musgrove. They might have the best rotation in baseball now, and they need that because the World Series champions are in their division. So in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And now they might have enough to beat the Dodgers, and they're the talk of the baseball world, especially because they haven't traded, one of their very top guys. They did trade up Patino in the Snell deal, but other than that, they haven't really given up, Gore or Abrams or any of those guys. So what the Padres are doing is, nuts. They're taking advantage of a market because of the pandemic. Teams are going to want to start shedding payroll, and they're taking advantage of it. Now you have other teams like the Yankees who are just sitting around waiting for, to do nothing. But I think the Padres are right now the talk of baseball. They're a team that's on the rise, and they added to it, and I can't wait to watch them in April.
Eddie, would you agree with what Chuck just said? The Padres are the team to watch in their moves during the offseason?
I think absolutely. I wanted to go in, and I did want to say, as a Yankee homer, I wanted to say DJ LeMahieu. That was a big move. I know I had like a little bit of a back and forth with Paul Lawson, the MVP, about the importance of LeMahieu and the cheap contract that they got him for. That was a steal.
A great move.
That was like a big steal. But it's not what the Padres are doing. What the Padres are doing with that rotation is crazy. I when they got Yu Darvish, I was like, holy crap. And then they got Musgrove.
Wait, what were you saying is a big steal again? I'm sorry.
DJ LeMahieu.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu was a big steal. I wanted to say that was the pick, that was the move of the offseason, but it's not. It's the moves from the Padres. The Padres, Ian Snell, Blake Snell, sorry, not Ian Snell. Blake Snell, Musgrove, and Yu Darvish. That's a crazy rotation to go with some of those young talent, such drawing a blank. Baltimore third baseman, young guy Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. They have a squad. I hope that, well, I don't hope because I'm a Yankee fan, but I hope that they live up to their expectations, because their expectations are very high.
Declan, would you agree with Chuck in saying that the Padres are the team to watch for after this offseason so far?
Team to watch, sure. I mean, I'm going to take a disagree. I put on a Giants hat because I had a Nets hat on. We're just going to rock all New York sports teams that aren't the Mets or the Jets. And I was going to put on a nice little Mets jacket today because, I kind of want to be their general manager. But maybe I'll do that next time we bring up the Mets. I'm not sure.
But
put in your application. You never know, man. You never know what you could apply for. You'll be surprised.
Nah, we do. Anyway,
you'll be surprised, brother. Listen, I've been close to some major companies. You never know. Apply. You never know.
All right. I'm gonna disagree with Chuck. I do think that the Padres made some sick moves that are gonna potentially be really great for baseball for the next couple of years. But I think the biggest move single-handedly. Listen, I'm a Yankee fan. It's got to be Francisco Lindor going to the Mets. Not only because it was Lindor, but it was also Carlos Carrasco. So now you're moving a nice pitcher who is, I would say, top 20. He's a solid pitcher. I think MLB The Show has him at an 87 overall. And then Francisco Lindor, who's could be the best shortstop in the game and a top 10 player in all of baseball. So that's going to be a sick move to watch. And it's going to be critical for them down the stretch because, Steve Cohen said if the Mets don't win a championship in 3 to 5 years, it's a disappointment. I mean, where he sees 30 years of not winning and then 3 to 5 is imminent, I'm not really too sure. I got to throw in a little digs. But I totally think it's the best move of the offseason. I think it's the biggest move of the offseason in terms of capital being moved on both sides.
So you're going with the Mets as far as the biggest moves.
Yeah, the single Lindor and Carrasco move.
All right. Before I let you guys go, Chuck, you think DJ got robbed? They should have paid him more money?
Yes and no. I think he only got the short end of the stick salary wise because they gave him the extra 2 years or whatever. He originally wanted 5, the Yankees were on 4, and then the Yankees went to the 6 to bring down, the cash. And the Yankees want to stay under the tax, which is what we're hearing from everybody. Then it was a good move on their end. And I think LeMahieu will age well, especially with his back, because he's more of a contact hitter and he doesn't really play, one of those career hampering positions like shortstop, third base, center field. So I think it's a good move on their end, but I think they still need to go out. They need a number 2 behind Cole. Kluber's a nice piece, but what are we going to get out of Kluber? He was hurt, basically all of last year. He's not the Corey Kluber that we saw when the Cy Young a couple of years ago. So the Yankees still need to go make more moves. But I do like the LeMahieu contract. I think they got him for a reasonable price. He probably could have held out for more, but I don't think anybody was offering the 24-year, $20 million plus deal that he was seeking. So eventually he wanted to stay here. The Yankees wanted him, and they found a way to make it work.
All right. Declan and Eddie, do you agree with the LeMahieu deal? Do you think he could have got a little bit more, or is it a fair contract?
I think that he got robbed by Brian Cashman. But what I'll say, and I'm going to say this with confidence, when a hitter steps into the batter's box and his name is DJ LeMahieu, there's not another player in baseball that I have more confidence in to get a base hit and to get on base than DJ LeMahieu. He's clutch. He's everything you need. And I mean, make no mistake, if the Yankees would have ever let him go, this would have been a catastrophic mistake, worse than what they did when they let Robbie Cano go years ago.
Yeah, but I also the thing I have with DJ LeMahieu is, he's a great hitter, but he's also your high-end utility man that could play a solid glove in every single position on the field. So that's something that allows you to play with your lineup, give people rest, and you don't have to worry about him altering his glove. His glove is excellent.
Wait, are you guys disagreeing with me? Or
no, I don't disagree with you.
I am.
All right, so I saw Chuck shake his head. Go ahead.
I'm disagreeing with you because, and I also wrote this in the group. If LeMahieu would have walked, I don't think it would have been, this, oh my God, like what the hell's going on? They could have been fine with moving Torres to second base, signing a stopgap, shortstop and DD Simmons or somebody, because next year's class is Seager, Correa, Baez, Story, probably one of the best shortstop free agent class of all time. So they could have waited and held the money for that. Plus, they have other positions of need. They still need a pitcher, and they still need, guys in the pen. And I was against LeMahieu because I thought he was going to get at least $20 million. That's why I was so adamant on let the guy walk, because instead of paying him the $20 million, go use it to get pitching. Because if they bring the same team back, they're not going to win the World Series, and we saw that last year.
Right. I think if you flip Frazier and prospects for Castillo or somebody, I feel like we got to find somebody deep. And I don't want to. Not a knock on Luis Castillo. We need to find somebody different because I just feel like it's not going to work out with Luis Castillo. We got to think of somebody right now who can make an impact, who can be a number 2 or even a 3 behind, Cole.
Yeah, but you don't use your best hitter as an example. DJ LeMahieu is their best hitter.
100%.
Their best hitter. It's not even close.
I don't think there's any.
When they lost in the playoffs, they lost because they couldn't get hits with runners in scoring position. It wasn't the pitching. The pitching held fine. Pitching held fine, but you're gonna lose your best hitter when you have guys who go cold like Aaron Judge and Torres goes cold at times.
Everyone's boomer bust besides him.
And that includes Luke Voit.
I agree, but as of today, you cannot go into the season with Domingo Germán as your number 2, and then Severino, coming back off Tommy John. They're not going to win with those guys starting games 2 and 3.
But that's when you have to be a general manager and you have to trade some of the players that you're not playing,
That's
Frazier. He's not playing. I want him to play, but he's not going to play. They're going to start him in the minor leagues like they do every single year. Trade him, get a pitcher. That's it. So is that
if you're not going to use him, then
If you're not going to use him, trade him.
All right, guys. Before I let you go, Declan, I know you'll be around for Football Sunday. Chuck, Championship Sunday. Could you make predictions, or do I have to hold off because it's too early?
I don't want to make predictions yet because I got a futures bet that I'm sitting on. So
then fine. So I won't ask you. Eddie, do you have any predictions for Championship Sunday or
Buffalo, Tampa?
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Bold.
Buffalo, Tampa,
Bold.
Super Bowl.
Okay, wow. Okay. And that's even with Patrick Mahomes playing?
Yep.
All right, relax on the Bill slander, Carl. You're supposed to be a Mike.
No, I'm asking an objective question. I'm sorry. I'm doing my job. I'm sorry. You guys, thank you so much for joining us here, and make sure you guys take care, and we talk to you guys soon. You're watching this.
I saw it earlier from Andres like 20 minutes ago. Michael Brantley's staying in Houston. They
Yeah.
signed him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yankees.
and Ray Jarvis just said that in the comments as well
Rosario.
too. Yeah,
Sign
Ray
John
Jarvis just said that
Rosario,
in the.
trade Frazier for Kyle Hendricks. That's my off season.
Eddie, again, you got to answer to the hitless congregation. A lot of people talking about your Met shirt. They're saying Yankee fans don't own Met shirts. So I don't know.
Haters are gonna hate. That's it.
He got it from the hospital.
Carl, but don't worry, Carl. The real New York.
Islanders, special shout out to Elmont. You guys know the vibes. Pull up. Listen, I know Eddie's an Elmont guy too. He be at
Yes,
Elmont
I am.
all the time. Special
Yes, I
shout
am.
out to Hempstead Turnpike. Y'all know the vibes. Come find me, baby.
Eddie,
Y'all know,
ready?
y'all know what it is. Let's go, Elmont. You already know. Declan, listen, you want to come to Elmont with us, man? Let me know, man, when that new stadium opens up.
All right, I'll be there, and then
All
I'll be
right.
at your house for dinner.
That's cool with me. And I'll come to your house for breakfast because I need to be sitting at that breakfast table.
Absolutely. I'll come to your house for dinner as long as you're not cooking.
You know what? Goodbye. You guys take care. I'll talk to you soon. You're watching the Sports Hitless
Yeah,
by the
Carl.
fans and for the fans. Let me bring in my basketball contributors as we transition to our NBA segment. Let me introduce my panel. We have the co-founder of the Sports Hitless, Ziggy Zig. Zig, how you doing, sir?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm tired, but I'm here.
We have Mr. Andres Rivas himself, Mr. Numbers. How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. Doing fantastic.
Congratulations. Make your special announcement. You got your new podcast launching. Look at this guy, right? Tell the fans about it.
Yes, sir. I finally made a new podcast. It's going to be called The Sports Fellas. If you live under a rock, it comes from the movie Goodfellas, which is on Netflix and is a masterpiece, 10 out of 10. I highly recommend it. So, yes, sir.
And we have Jordan Eugene is in the building. Jordan, how you doing, sir?
Doing all right.
How does it feel? I think what has been like a week or 2 weeks without James Harden. It's been a week. How you doing? Are you okay? I wanted to give you the opportunity. I know I didn't have you on last week's show, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to soak, to process the trade. How are you doing? Because I know you've been a James Harden advocate over the last 8 years of him being on the Rockets. How are you handling it?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I'm actually surprised because initially when I heard news of James Harden requesting a trade, I was really like nervous and I was like, where does the franchise go from here? But ultimately, I think he wanted to put himself first, which is, to be honest, the right decision because this is a business at the end of the day. This is someone I've wanted to see win a ring since he's come to Houston. I just wish he could have done it here. Unfortunately, that's not how it's going to pan out for this season or the next or however long he decides to stay in Brooklyn. But I'm happy for him. I'm rooting for the Nets to win the finals, but I'm still a Rockets fan at heart.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry.
Manny asked the question. I'm asking what Manny asked. Manny said he cried. So I'm asking him. This wasn't me. It wasn't my question. I had the opportunity to watch the Nets play. I don't know if you guys have seen the couple of games that James Harden's been. And it's been scary. I can't lie. Just watching Harden cook and Kevin Durant and Mr. Numbers post the numbers in the group all the time. But Zig, what are your thoughts on watching Harden play with Brooklyn?
It's everything that I thought we were going to see. I mean, it only has been a couple of games. You would like to see a few more games in length, but he comes in the first game of his career with the Brooklyn Nets. And gets a triple-double. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant is there dropping 40 along the side. So it's everything that everyone was pretty much saying, that this team is going to be a beast when it comes to the offensive production. We're just waiting now to see what happens when Kyrie Irving gets back. We know he's going to be back soon.
I think tonight. Tonight against Cleveland.
Right. So after all of that talk about them missing games, this, that, and the third, Kyrie Irving is still right there with the team, with his brothers. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to roll this out tonight. I think the only thing that I'm still worried about is the defense because they had a pretty close game with the Milwaukee Bucks. So
great game.
That was a really good game. If they can't get a handle on the defensive side of the basketball, it's going to get pretty tough for them come playoff time. But offensively, nobody's really messing with this team right now. And oh man, just God forbid if they get to the playoffs and Spencer Dinwiddie comes back. I know that's a pipe dream or whatever, but yeah, they're looking really good right now.
Mr. Numbers, what are your thoughts with James Harden with the Nets? I seen them early on. I see you rocking the Nets jersey over there.
Listen, man, big Kyrie guy. Oh, well, a couple of things before I go to the thing. Number one, the biggest trade acquisition was Lindor to the Mets. He's a top 6 player. And number two, Drew Brees has never been better than Aaron Rodgers a day in his life. So
He had to go back to the other
he
topics.
can kick rocks and enjoy retirement. He can kick.
Come on. Listen, we got to stop the Drew Brees hate. I don't want to change conversations, but my whole point is, again, when you're looking at someone's greatness and we're looking at legacies, he checks the box off.
He's never been better than Aaron Rodgers a day in his life. I do not care.
That doesn't matter. My whole point of mentioning his legacy was you looking at the individual accolades, you look at the team accolades. Drew Brees has done it. Why are we knocking his career?
Listen,
that's what I'm saying.
There's been 15,000 QBs. He can be fine with being top 10. Anywho, so when it comes to the Nets, I just see like they're having fun with each other. You know, Harden is smiling more. I don't know if you guys seen, but Harden's been tweeting with the Rockets. He didn't really like tweet that much. He's been having fun. Kevin Durant looks like Kevin Durant. I mean, hell, he had an Achilles tear and he's looked better. Like, and a lot of people, including myself, said this in the offseason. Kevin Durant was going to come back the same player, even better. He's having the most efficient season of his career, and it's been the most points per game since his MVP season when he averaged like 30.3 or something. You add a 3-time scoring champion, an assist champion, and Kyrie Irving, who's an NBA champion to that. I mean, they're going to be fun to watch. And for all you bozos and all you haters saying that, oh, Kyrie should retire, listening to Stephen A. Smith and when he has to say, guess what? Kyrie Irving is playing tonight. Black excellence. Let's see it.
Pete just pulled up. Pete, the earlier conversations, we basically talked about some baseball. We've been talking about Drew Brees and the hate that he receives, and now we're talking about the NBA.
Listen, man, hate is a big word. I don't hate him. Hate is a big word.
I say he receives hate. I don't know if you hate it, but he's getting a lot of hate, and we saw that in the previous segment where Ray now doesn't have him even near the Mount Rushmore, or he's
nowhere near there. You could drive to the Mount Rushmore. I don't think
some people can make the debate. Some people can make the debate. That's all I'm saying. But I know championship is not played on paper, but the way it's looking right now is that the Nets are the team to beat. Is that a fair assessment? Is that a disrespect to the champion Lakers, or is that just us being prisoners of the moment of looking at, wow, you have 3 superstars in Kyrie, KD, and James Harden? Zig.
That's for me?
Yeah, that's for you.
Okay, so in regard to that question, like you just mentioned, I definitely was one of the individuals who got hyped and had the Nets going to the finals. And I'm not going to say it's going to be a cakewalk because, to be honest, I don't trust in Philadelphia. I feel they're fool's gold. I don't even care if Doc Rivers is the coach. The Celtics, I ain't scared about the Celtics neither because y'all really don't have no big men to really do anything down there. So for me personally and truly, it's really the Milwaukee Bucks and, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Clippers, I know how I feel about the Clippers. I want to give them their kudos because they've been killing. Me and Andre's been texting back and forth about Paul George. He's definitely an early MVP candidate. At times looking better than Kawhi Leonard. But if we're talking just strictly in the Eastern Conference, I believe that Milwaukee team is somebody that you got to give a little bit of respect to, especially now. I always give big props to Drew Holiday, one of the most underrated players in the NBA. Their defense is solid. I just wish Giannis could get that jump shot going a little bit to be able to give the Bucks a real chance. But I definitely have the Nets having a high chance of going to the finals, but I'm not going to just disrespect the Milwaukee Bucks, nor am I going to disrespect the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, we see a lot of people flooding the comments, especially our reigning defending MVP. He said Brooklyn, LA in the finals. He didn't say which LA team. He just said Brooklyn, LA. I'm just throwing that out there, Ray Jarvis. And he's saying, so Jordan, is it a cakewalk to the finals for the Nets? Are they the team to beat on paper right now?
Yes, 100,000%. There is nobody in the East right now that, forms any, that makes me think that there's actually worthy competition compared to the Brooklyn Nets. When you think about it, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, think of that really. Milwaukee didn't keep up with Toronto 2 years ago. Milwaukee didn't keep up with Miami just a couple months ago. So, Milwaukee's not really a threat. Philly, I agree with Zig, is really not. I think they're also fool's gold. Boston, Okay, Boston. That
Listen, we have the two youngest. We have the two budding youngest superstars. I'm still gonna cap for my guys. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown have been playing excellent
Superstar
before
is
they
a
got shut
complex
down.
term, bro. You gotta relax.
I'm sorry.
when I'm thinking,
Superstar is a complex term.
They're
bro.
budding superstars. Prove me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and
either
debate
one
that
of them
with
won
you.
a championship. Okay,
I said they're. I'm not talking. I said they're budding superstars. Did
that's
you listen?
fantastic.
Clean.
Kevin
Get some.
Durant, 2 rings.
Get some Q-tips
Kyrie
and clean,
Irving, 1
and clean
ring.
your ears. I said they're budding superstars. But go ahead. Continue.
Kyrie Irving has a ring. Kevin Durant has 2 rings. James Harden is one of the best offensive players in the world of all time, actually, as a matter of fact. So this team, 100,000% has a cakewalk. I mean, I'm not saying sweeps all around and they're just going to go 12-0 to the finals, but I'm thinking more of just like, maybe a loss or 2 each round. They might have beat teams in 5. Maybe if Milwaukee or Philly gets lucky, they go 6. But ultimately, no. I mean, I think the Lakers, if they were to see the Lakers in the finals, then it'd probably go 6 games, but I'd give that to Brooklyn easy.
You see, at this point, it's like last year we were stalling to wait to get the Clippers and the Lakers. That was the hype. Remember? Everyone was waiting for the Clippers and the Lakers to go into the Western Conference Finals, and we didn't get it. Now it's like we're waiting for Brooklyn versus the Lakers, and everyone's all the hype. This is what we need to just, and a lot of people I've seen with that status saying, let's just cakewalk forget the rest of the season. Let's just go to the finals right now. And
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
And we had the same mindset for the Western Conference Finals. Are we kind of, again, being prisoners of the moment of saying, this is what we want to see, and then we're going to get disappointed and not get it?
We do this all the time.
It's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen.
So you're saying Brooklyn not in the finals?
No. I'm saying it's not gonna. The Brooklyn Lakers final is not gonna happen.
Wait. Why?
It's not happening?
He said not. N-O-T. That's what he just said. He said not. I listened.
Well, who's going in the East?
No, the Nets are making it out of the East.
So
the Lakers are not making it out.
You know who he picking. You know
So
who
the
he
Lakers
picking.
are not making it out. Okay,
You know
so
who he got
are you
coming out
capping
the
right
West?
now?
I'm gonna
Are you
say,
trolling?
listen,
Keep
man.
it. Listen, keep it real.
Listen. If you take the 5 best players in the East and you make them into one team, the Nets could still win that series. Like, their team is special. Kyrie Irving, Harden, Durant, Joe Harris. For those of you that live under a rock, Joe Harris led the league in 3-point percentage. The only questionable thing that the Nets have right now is DeAndre Jordan. If you watch the Nets play, DeAndre Jordan is not good on offense or defense. He's better as a cheerleader on the bench. Jared Allen, when he played, he started 2 or 3 games, and he was amazing. And a lot of people are going to overthink this. Going to be like, oh, well, the Nets don't have a good defense. Excuse me. In the last 21 years, the only team to have a bottom 10 defense and make the finals is the 2001 Lakers, who is the greatest team of all time, in my humble opinion, and the 2018 Cavaliers, who barely made it there because Terry Rozier went cold. So stop overthinking the defense. Stop thinking they have to play like every player has to be the defensive player of the year. Throw all that BS out the window.
Listen, I agree with you on that side. Okay, go ahead.
A Mike Budenholzer team does not scare me. A Doc Rivers team does not scare me. Like, the Nets are making it out of the East, plain and simple.
A Brad Stevens team does not scare me.
Listen, Brad Stevens is an amazing coach, top 5, maybe top 3. But we saw what happened when Brad Stevens ran into Spoelstra last year. He got cooked. He doesn't know how to handle his zone. No offense, Carl. That's true. This man, Brad Stevens, couldn't stop his zone. So we don't have enough firepower personally, unless we make a trade for Bradley Beal at the deadline. So stop overthinking it. Stop being like a clever, wanting to be an underdog, some underdog story.
Listen, I'm just optimistic. Listen, upsets do happen, and I pray every night that the Celtics find some way to make it to the finals. But that's not the comment that got me crazy.
The problem with Boston is that Brad Stevens is running 2 big men. We are not in 1997 anymore. We're not watching Tim Duncan and David Robinson, the Twin Towers. It's 2021. You need a center. You need 4 perimeter players and 1 center, I guess.
But you know what, Andres, I want to go back to your comments about why don't you think the Lakers are good enough to make it back? I mean, their bench did get better. I mean, they added Trez.
In your opinion, they got better. In your opinion, they got better. In everyone else's opinion, they got better. Not in mine.
Okay, why not?
You know how he feels about Montrez.
Why not? Because they got Dennis Schroeder, who
you've been a big advocate for.
Absolutely, he should have won the 6th man of the year, but excuse my French, he shit the bed in the playoffs. They got Montrezl Harrell, who Ziggy knows that he shit the bed in the playoffs, and he was the
Big
main
time.
reason why the Clippers blew a 3-1 lead.
He did.
And who else do they have? Wesley Matthews, who hasn't looked like a shell of himself.
Marc Gasol.
Well, Marc Gasol is serviceable, but like really. So I don't think if you watch the Clippers this year and you watch the Clippers last year, it's two different teams. You know, there's been a lot of talk about Paul George not being the guy, being a top 30 player, being a top 50 player, not being this guy, not being that guy. Kawhi Leonard not being a cyborg anymore, whatever you want to call him. But if you watch the Clippers game, they've been playing with intensity and they've been playing like they're the team to beat. Last year, the Lakers played every game like they were the team to beat because we know what happened. Everyone was calling LeBron washed. He didn't have it anymore. He's done. The queen, whatever you want to call it. And he came and he delivered. In 2019, the same thing happened. Kawhi Leonard, everyone was saying that he was done as a player, that he's never going to come back. What did he do? He got traded to the Raptors. He had one of the best playoff runs of all time. And I know we're going to say, oh, well, the Warriors didn't have player A, player B. We're not dealing with hypotheticals. We're dealing with the facts. The facts are that the Raptors won the chip. So I feel like the Clippers, they got a reality check last year. They were like, listen, we can't let this shit happen again. Doc Rivers, he didn't know how to adjust. Montrezl Harrell didn't know how to adjust. I know he had some family trouble. One of his family members passed away, whatever you want to call it. But if you look at the Clippers this year, they're pretty scary. They lead the league in three-point percentage. I mean, there's so many things you could say about them. The Lakers are coasting. Sorry for rambling. Holy shit. The Lakers are coasting. You don't get to decide who you play, but the Lakers schedule has been mediocre. They ran into the Blazers. They lost. They ran into the Warriors. They had a 20-point lead. They got too comfortable, and they lost. Obviously, opening night against the Clippers, they lost. So I don't know what to say right now, but I think.
Okay, so Ziggy.
Hold up. Nah, I need to respond to that really quickly because I'm not the biggest Laker fan, but I'm not gonna sit here. I mean, yes, Marc Gasol is definitely serviceable, but you add in a big man, and as you just said, you need a big man, and Marc Gasol is a big man for the Lakers who can also stretch the floor, right? So
Sure.
He's
great. I'm a big fan of Marc Gasol.
Right. So cool. You have him, you have Schroeder. Those two guys are good. Wesley Matthews, yes, he may be a shell of himself, but he still can hit better. He still can hit those corner threes, and he can still D up from time to time. All right.
But he's been getting cooked. He's been getting cooked. If you watch the game.
Let's let the season go on, right? Because we can't judge everything only out. I mean, yes, we can judge.
This is the sample. No. I'm saying
right?
that based on the sample size that we have right now.
Right. Okay.
That's
Off of that
the
sample size, he has been getting cooked. Yes, I'll give you that. Montrezl Harrell now coming to the Lakers is not going to be expected to do what he did for the Clippers then, right? Yes, we know he did shit the bed, but as I said in the previous segment, when you lose your grandmother and you haven't been playing ball for a little bit of a time, your mind and your mental, you need to be focusing on 100%. Basketball. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and see what he's going to produce in that.
Oh, I'm blaming Doc Rivers 100%.
Oh yeah, Doc Rivers. 100%. As for the Clippers, they've been doing their thing, but at the same time, Lou Williams has been looking really shaky. I don't know if it's because he's injured or he's just not with it at all. And remember, we was talking about Luke Kennard. I'm not a fan, but that's
he's been balling, bro.
He's been balling. He's been messing up my damn fantasy from time to time. I don't know, man. He ain't been looking too good.
Listen, he's shooting 50% from three, taking 4 threes a game. You take that any day of the week.
Jordan, what do you think of Andres' comments about the Clippers going to the finals? Is that that's basically?
I didn't say they were going to the finals. I'm saying to not pencil in the Lakers.
You said what?
I said to not pencil in the Lakers.
Okay, so you're not penciling in the Lakers. You're not penciling the Clippers. Then who are you penciling in?
We're gonna get the matchup. The reason why I say that is because those two teams are far and above every other team in the Western Conference.
I understand that, but I'm asking you a straight question. If again, you're not putting the Lakers or the Clippers, who goes to the finals?
I'm waiting until June, July rolls around.
Oh, come on, man! You can't give me.
I like that. You play it safe.
Give me an answer.
Ah, man,
because again, the dream matchup.
It's January 20th, 2021.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because again, the dream matchup is as soon as the Brooklyn Nets acquire James Harden, and we've just discussed this. Everyone's like, "Well, just pencil it in." Lakers versus Nets in the finals, and you're saying
that's what the people are saying. Last year they said the Clippers were making the finals, and people penciled it in. Now that the roles reversed,
right? So again.
So now I'm not going to do the same thing twice. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice and pencil them in. I want to enjoy the game of basketball like a consumer and wait till the season plays out.
Okay. Jordan, do you agree with what he just said here?
No. Not at all.
Again, basketball is not.
I think it's way too easy right now to predict it, and I don't see it changing anytime soon, barring a bunch of injuries that happen.
God forbid.
God forbid. But other than that, I just think the Lakers team is just way too strong. I mean, on all cylinders, everything's just rolling for this team right now. So I just don't see it not being Lakers Nets. I just can't see it.
Anthony
There's
said,
no legitimate threat.
I don't know if you're reading the comments, but Mr. Numbers, Anthony said you're waiting on the numbers to decide who makes it to the finals and that.
Great joke, man. Great joke. I'm cackling.
Listen, it's all for conversation. We know this is what we do. It's all for conversation. But again, that's what the dream matchup tells us, is that could the Nets dethrone the Lakers? Clippers clearly have a chance in the Eastern Conference. It's kind of like really who really could stand a chance. Giannis did get help, and we thought, the acquisitions the Bucks made could be of some sort of a help. But, again, if that's not the case, we might as well just fast forward and get straight to the finals now.
It's funny because I saw a tweet the other day. It was pretty funny. It was like, Giannis picked loyalty, and the Nets got James Harden.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not gonna say, everyone keeps saying fast forward the season. Personally, I'm not with that. I enjoy watching these basketball games. As I said before, $250 for league pass. You better believe I'm gonna make sure to watch all of these games. But one of the things that seems to be but we know that's affecting these games is this COVID-19. Like, it's still happening. Like, Carl, you have a player.
Oh, it's still happening? I thought it was over.
No, man. My team had a whole week postponement, man. It's like they had a whole week off because they didn't have enough players to play. And
Tatum hasn't played in like 12 days, man.
Yes, and I also got to give a shout out to the Knicks because they beat us by 30. And I know everyone's flooding the comments.
Man, the Celtics haven't played in like 12 days, bro.
It doesn't matter. Listen, give them their respective
the Knicks played?
They beat us by 30. They did. I'm gonna give them a quick shout out for that. For sure.
Sunday game, bro. Nobody cares.
A Sunday mid game.
Don't be a hater, Andres. Let us live this one.
No, but Zig, you're right though. As far as talk about how COVID has definitely changed the structure of the season.
Yo, you don't know what's going to happen, because as we see, the bubble definitely provided that protection from COVID-19, but at the same time, it was wearing on these players emotionally, mentally. You know what I'm saying? They're missing their families, they're missing their friends. Now, we're back to some semblance of normalcy, just without the fans, and people are getting sick left and right. I think they postponed about 14 games already. Carl, already that some of us are in a fantasy league, and we're constantly looking to move players around because certain players are just, they're getting this COVID-19. Karl Anthony Towns now has it, after what he had to go through with his mom and the rest of his family.
Like 7 other family members,
Yeah, it's just a real sad situation. So you look at what's happening and you just really can't call what's going to happen. I mean, at least at the top tier, we know it's set so far, Lakers, Clippers in the West. Shout out to Utah Jazz. I think they're in the second place right now.
And ain't nobody worried about that team.
Well, no, I ain't worried about them neither, but shout out to them because they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're winning games, right?
My final question before I let you guys go. I got 2 more questions here.
Come on, man. How you cut me off when I'm talking, B?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were done. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Wait. So one more thing to add to what Ziggy was saying. Robert Williams the other day, he said that everyone tested positive. His daughter, his wife, his in-laws, like literally everyone. So he said they're all fine and stuff, but like it's just crazy.
It's crazy. Is there any trade scenario that we see that could potentially rupture the dream matchup in the Lakers Nets in the finals? Jordan, is there anyone being traded on the block? Potential like a Bradley Beal going to a team, to a contender? Is there any trade that can happen between now and before the deadline that could
March
say,
26th.
Oh wow, March 26th? Thank you.
I know Andres earlier mentioned Bradley Beal to the Heat, but I mean, I don't think that's enough. To be honest, I don't think that's enough. I think.
Whoa! If we get Bradley Beal,
I don't think that's enough.
All right, that's fine.
Well, somebody in the comments dropped that.
It's not James Harden. It's not Kevin Durant. It's not Kyrie Irving. It's not those 3.
That's fine. We like it that way. We had it that way last year. We like it that way.
Ziggy, what'd you say?
I said, somebody in the comment, I believe it was Jarvis, he had said that the only competition that the Nets really have is Miami. So you wonder if Miami do get Bradley Beal, what could happen. I also want to look at Andre Drummond, because he's been really on a tear this season so far. So you wonder if he gets to a contender, what's going to happen. But I don't know. Really and truly, as a basketball fan, all I really want to see is the Lakers versus Brooklyn, to be honest.
I would disagree with the Nets competition being Miami. I'd rather say that the Nets competition is probably themselves. That's the only competition they really have. If they just can figure this out, I mean, they're unstoppable.
Shout out to Steve Nash, man. Shout out to Steve Nash.
Andres, is there any trade scenario that you could see beside the Bradley Beal one that could potentially rupture this whole Nets Lakers budding?
Andre Drummond is not good at basketball either.
My bad. Jarvis said that. He wants his credit. Jarvis was the one that said that.
So you said Andre Drummond is not good at basketball.
He's an empty stats player, bro.
Okay.
You want him on the Celtics? If you want him on the Celtics,
I never said I did. I wanted a big man, but I never said I did.
I think the Cavs are going to look forward to moving Andre Drummond. I think teams will call like in the West and the East. They're going to call.
Listen, the only legit big man I would want, but we'd have to give up Jaylen Brown, is Karl Anthony Towns. Is it Karl Anthony Towns?
Special, man.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns would be a big man that I would legit want on the Celtics. But
he's the perfect player for the Celtics.
He is, but we'd have to give up a Jaylen Brown for him. There's no way that Danny Ainge is going to be able to.
You're not doing that trade?
No, I would.
You would give up.
No, I would. No, I would.
I just want to be sure you were smart.
I would. I love Jaylen. Don't get me wrong. I love Jaylen, but for Karl Anthony Towns, I'm throwing everything for Cat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would definitely do that trade.
Find someone that knows how to pull the trigger. I respect.
Final thoughts here. Championship Sunday coming up. Is it too early to get some predictions out of you guys for some NFL games?
No, it's not too early.
Give me your predictions, Mr. Numbers. Who you got?
Listen, man, I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I've been waiting for this matchup since I was like 10 years old. The Packers are beating the Buccaneers, and Rodgers is going to the Super Bowl. The Bucs' pass defense is suspect. The only reason why the Bucs beat the Saints is because Drew Brees' arm is cooked. His noodle arm is cooked. Aaron Rodgers has been looking like the MVP all season long. Brady's going to go into the tundra, and they're going to lose. Just a reminder to anyone listening, QB wins is not a stat. Just because Rodgers wins on Sunday doesn't mean he's going to be the GOAT. Brady is still the greatest of all time, greatest of our generation. If Brady goes to the Super Bowl and he wins the Super Bowl, I might even put him above Michael Jordan in sports all time. So on the other
side, you got the Chiefs?
On the other side, I'm a Dolphins fan. I can't root for a divisional rival. I do have the Chiefs winning.
All right. Jordan's Championship Sunday predictions or too early?
With the Chiefs Bills, as long as Mahomes plays, if Mahomes plays, then absolutely, then I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm rolling with the Chiefs. But if it's Chad Henne, then 100,000%, then it's going to the Bills. But I'm taking the Chiefs. Nonetheless, I'm still taking the Chiefs because I love the Chiefs. But as for the NFC, I might go Tampa. I'm going Tampa. I've learned too many times, time and time again, to never bet against Tom Brady and to stop betting with Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. I've learned that time and time again.
Zig, do you care to make predictions or no?
Nah, not really. But if I had to really go and make one, I think I'd go Packers Chiefs.
Packers Chiefs. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Please make sure you tune into our Sunday kickoff. What's up, sir?
What's your prediction for the NBA Finals?
Mine?
Yeah. You called me out. Let me call you out.
You know me, I'm going Celtics Lakers. What am I going to say?
Yes, sir. What did you say?
I gotta stay on brand. F the Nets, man. Fuck the Nets. I gotta stay on brand. He asked me a question. I gotta stay on brand. I'm sorry, man. Listen, we pull off the upset, baby. That's it. Jason Tatum.
Upset my ass. You've been saying that.
Listen, I envisioned it. Jason Tatum. Listen, 5 seconds left on the clock. Game is tied. You get the inbound the ball to Jason Tatum. He pulls up and sends the Celtics to the finals. That's it. I predicted. It's in my mind. I can't help myself. That's what I.
That's if none of them don't catch COVID. You better hope that.
Oh my God.
That's what I see. But thank you guys so much for watching the Sports Hit List and being a part of this brand. It's definitely been fun. I'll talk to you guys soon. Make sure you pull up to Sunday's show, 12:15, where the guys will make their official predictions for Championship Sunday. Make sure you check out Andres' new podcast. I know you'll share it within the Sports Hit List streets. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys.
And shout out to Kyrie Irving for once again proving everyone wrong over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm getting tired of having to defend Kyrie Irving. I've been defending him all week. The man took a couple of days off. He wasn't feeling right. When you're not in your right mindset, you don't want to play basketball. You don't play. And there's more to life. And
listen, they just mad because they can't do it.
Yeah, and you know what it is? I think a lot of times fans come to understand. Again, Andres has said this plenty of times. They're human. They're human. How many times do we wake up and you guys are students, you say, you know what? I don't feel like going to school today. I'm not in the mental state. Ziggy as a teacher, me as a teacher, there are plenty of times I wake up and say, I'm not in the mental state to teach today. I don't feel like doing it. I have the right to do that.
It's not
I don't see what the problem. Exactly. We're humans first. If his mental state is not right for him to play basketball and he wants to spend time with his family, who cares? Like, it's so annoying that I have to sit here and talk about it, man. Just let him be. And I'm happy to see him on the court. But as much as I want my team to make the finals, it is nice to see Brooklyn, I guess, cooking in a sense, because I watch those two games and I just see back and forth between Durant and Harden, and it's just like, damn, man. As a fan of basketball, it's great to see, and it's also, as far from a New York standpoint, it's good to see. I can't believe we could actually see two superstars in their primes.
Listen,
three superstars in their primes here in the city of New York.
It's funny because I think Ziggy said it, or I don't remember who in the group chat said it. Like, the Nets could get Jesus Christ himself, and it'll still be a Knicks town.
No, you're right, absolutely. But the simple fact that, and I think it hurts though as a fan, that the fact that we can't go to those games, because I know for a fact if the Celtics are coming to town and you have James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, I'm going to see this game. I don't even know. I'll sit in the nosebleeds just to see them play here in the city. So I think from a city aspect and having those caliber names and having those superstars in their primes playing in Brooklyn, and us as New Yorkers who do get to see them play like on a regular basis, I think it's a good thing to see. So,
absolutely.
With that said, you guys enjoy the day. It's a great day, inauguration day, the dawning of a new era. I have to throw that out there. I'm sorry, man. I cried tears of joy all day today.
Fiction day.
Dawning of a new era.
Day.
And you guys take care. I'm gonna go continue watching CNN for those. Yeah, I don't care. I said it, so I'll go continue.
Yes, sir.
Watching.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching the show. Take care.